all wars are awful, but the First World War was uniquely horrible. It was completely unexpected. It was beyond anyone's experience of war. And it destroyed what a lot of people believed about the world. In the 19th century, the 19th century was a century that believed in reason, progress, and civilization. The 19th century came to an end in July, August 1914, and the 20th century began. The First World War, in effect, created or gave birth to the 20th century, and so much of what became the dominant trends in the 20th century came out of the First World War. And the 20th century was not a century that believed in reason, progress, and civilization. To someone who grew up in the 19th century, the world created by the First World War, the 20th century world, was literally unthinkable. There are so many ways in which the First World War was unprecedented and in which it gave rise to so many central developments in the 20th century. But let me mention at least one, and that is World War I was the first total war. By total war, I mean it was the first war in which nations mobilized all human and material resources, everything in the nation, for one single purpose: military victory. Everything in a nation, everything from people to industry to farming to culture to the way people thought, everything was mobilized and regulated and controlled by central governments. The First World War was a turning point. Among the consequences of the First World War were the triumph of communism in Russia, the rise of fascism in Germany and Italy, the Second World War, to name just a few. In the 1930s, the leaders of the Soviet Union imagined and created the first planned economy. And they could do that because the First World War had shown them how. The First World War had shown them that it was possible to create a planned economy, because essentially all combatant nations had to totally plan their economy during World War I to ensure that production was geared towards war, that food and military resources were being delivered to the front, that everything in society, all production was geared toward that one single goal: military victory. Those who created the welfare state after World War II could do so, could imagine that it was possible because the First World War had shown them how the state could intervene in the economy and society in dramatic ways. As its name implies, the First World War. The First World War was a pivotal moment in the development of globalization. It was not just a war of armies, it was a war of peoples. It was a war in which the battlefront transformed what came to be known as the home front. The war touched everyone, not just in Europe, but around the world, certainly in Canada. It had a profound impact on every city, every town, every family, every farm. Agriculture was mobilized for the war so that the civilian population, and especially the military population, would be fed. So the Fraser Valley was not exempt from the mobilization of everyone and everything for war. As the children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, great-great-grandchildren, and great-great-great-grandchildren, we all, you and I, have one basic obligation, and that's to remember. Without memory, we are condemned to repeat ourselves over and over again. As we can see today by the exhibits in this room, memories and their expression, their representation are diverse as individuals and societies. But all memories and memorials pay a debt to the past, a debt we owe to the past, to our ancestors. All memories and memorials are a bridge between our ancestors and us. And one of the roles of a university is to facilitate the building of those bridges, to provide a safe place for those memories and memorials and the debates and emotions they provoke. Your presence and the presence of all of these exhibits, all of this memorabilia, shows how much you trust us with your memories and memorabilia. Thank you. This is one reason why UFV exists.
Thank you, Eric. Just a few housekeeping notes. We're going to lose this podium pretty quickly, so first off, I do want to thank some of the people at UFV that helped make this possible. Certainly Marianne McDougall and Kim Isaac in the library, Brian Cutler in the theater for helping us set up the stage, Robin Pittman for helping us get the rest of the electrical goods going in fairly short order. My ad hoc committee that helped us organize this, myself, Robin Anderson, Chris Leach, Scott Sheffield, Prabhat Parmar, Hillary Turner. If I've forgotten anybody, please forgive me. So thank you all for helping us with this. Also Mike Tulin and Brian Leonard, people in security, all of whose participation made this event possible. So thank you to all of them. Just a few housekeeping notes also. If you have an issue with parking, we have arranged to have basically the lot surrounding this gym, the south and west sides, free. If for some reason you wind up getting a ticket or any kind of notification, please bring it back to us. We'll make sure it goes away. Catering will be available in Aftermath starting almost right about now. Aftermath, for those that don't know, are those two doors to my left, 10 o'clock from my position. As you know from the event schedule, several of the lecture-type events will be taking place in Aftermath, but if you've looked at your schedule, you'll see that we've tried to space them very carefully so they don't overlap or interfere with the two big events on the stage here later on this afternoon. Volunteers, if for any reason an exhibitor wants to vacate their display for some few minutes for whatever purposes that might be, find yourself one of our excellent student volunteers. Thank you to all of those who are here also as well today. They are in the white t-shirts. They can come and monitor your stuff while you happen to be elsewhere, either in Aftermath for a bite to eat or perhaps a drink, or as the case may be, to attend to other business or see the other exhibits. I think that pretty much covers all the logistical stuff. There's some great art displays that Alexander Itzior from our Department of Visual Arts has put up in the hallway outside the gym on the south side, so you have stuff to look at when you wander back and forth between this venue and Aftermath. One other point just to note too, the first three events on your morning schedule, we did get started a little bit late, so those first three events that I think are presently at 10:45 and 11 and 11:25, just add 15 minutes, guys, to each one of those three. And we'll still be in good shape for the rest of the show later on today. Thank you all again, everybody, for coming to this really important event at UFV, and I hope you all have a really great day. Thank you so much.